Today on Nerd Out, I'm going to be doing a updated 6-inch figure collection update. It's the Star Wars one. Welcome to Nerd Out, the show where we nerd out. My name is JustinTime, and today we're going to look at my updated 6-inch figure collection. I'm going to tell you show you all the figures that I have, tell you which ones are my favorite that I have. I also have an announcement at the end of this video about tomorrow, so please stay tuned for the rest of it if you want to know something cool about that. So let me get started. So starting with a shadow box that I built myself. I had my dad help me put it together, but I painted it, I cut the pieces, so on and so forth myself. Starting off, we have Dryden Voss. This camera's not going to focus well on it, but we have Dryden Voss, the villain from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Next up, from the now called Star Wars Legends, we have Darth Revan. I found him at Best Buy, believe it or not. So yeah, this is how I have him displayed, because I'm pretty sure I've seen him once with this kind of like holding his lightsabers, touching each other like that. So he sits like that on my shelf, and he just looks really cool. I know nothing of Darth Revan except he looks cool and he's a Sith. And I'm pretty sure that's his Jedi lightsaber, the purple one. I think I should be grabbing two figures at once so that I don't have to keep walking back and forth. But next up we have K2SO. He is the droid from Rogue One. He's the tallest figure I have. Maybe Snoke is as tall as Snoke. I've never actually stood Snoke up. We'll get to Snoke later, but we got K2SO. And I also have Captain Cassian. Both are from Rogue One, if you didn't know. The final two figures from the big Rogue One Squadron shadow box that I have other figures besides Rogue One in, I have Dr. Krennic and Jyn Erso herself. Next up in the first shadow box that my dad actually built for me that I ended up painting up, we have the 40th anniversary 6-inch Vader, and I also have a carded one up there, but he is kind of buried in the back, so I'm not going to be grabbing him. Next up is a Last Jedi figure I got recently, is Admiral Vice Admiral Holdo, played by Lauren Dern in Last Jedi, and I have a battle droid from the prequels. I know, because this is a Star Wars video, I'm going to hear it, possibly, no one really comments, but I do want to address, Holdo is not my favorite character, but I'm trying to build up my 6-inch figures, and I want to like kind of do like a tribute shelf for each, like the shadow box. So I'm trying to build up the Last Jedi figures. Speaking of Last Jedi, I have Rose Tico, as well as from the prequels, Padme. Padme is my favorite figure at the moment, but my all-time favorite figure we'll get to in a little bit. The final figure that I have on that shelf, because my 6-inch figure shelf is crowded, I recently picked up, and that is IG-88 from the archive line. I didn't originally get him. Next up, I have the original release of The Last Jedi, Kylo Ren. This is the one with the rubber plastic cloak. And then my first like deluxe figure, I got Supreme Leader Snoke with the throne. The helmet came from a different Last Jedi Kylo Ren, and this lightsaber came from Maz Kanata that I put there to kind of be like the scene from Last Jedi where he just keeps saying it on the, or he sets Rey's lightsaber on the thing, or I'm still calling it Luke's lightsaber because fuck you. That's why. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry that I said fuck you that one time. And now we're on to the big daddy of them all, the 6-inch figure shelf. I want to try and keep them on the shelf, so I'm going to start from the back and work my way forward on that shelf. So first off, we have a Snowtrooper from Empire Strikes Back. We have Han Solo from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I have Captain Phasma, and I also have her carded. I found them both wild. I found the first one I found in a Walmart that I go to visit my friend who's never working when I go there, and then this one was from a Target, so I opened this one up. Because she just looked... it's Captain Phasma. She deserves more screen time. Come on. Next up we have a Death Star Trooper from A New Hope. We have the Walgreens exclusive Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath edition. If you can kind of see, his helmet's purple, and in some angles you can actually see his skull and all that, which I find really cool. Or you can see like his head underneath it. Next up we have a First Order Sergeant, Commander. It's a First Order person. It came in a 2-pack with Admiral Akbar, which we'll get to later. Rest in peace, Akbar. You should have been the one that drove the ship into the other ship. Next up we have DJ. And now we're at our boy Akbar. Come on. Come on. Press F for respect in the comment section below. If you felt that he died a ungrateful death due to Rian Johnson. Why? Why, Johnson? Why? I got a Sand Trooper. Next up we have the 6-inch Luke Skywalker in Bespin Fatigues. This was one of my first figures, actually, that I think about it. I think my first figure will be getting to soon. He actually just fell over, and that's what pissed me off. Next up we have Key Ra from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Next up we have Donald Glover from Solo: A Star Wars Story, or Lando, if you want to also call him Lando. Fun fact, if you looked at the leaked images, this is the costume that Lando's going to be wearing in Episode 9, for some reason. Apparently he wanted nostalgia to the Solo days. Or is that just Lucasfilm's trying to make up for Solo's loss? Next up we have Finn in his First Order disguise. This one actually looks like Finn, unlike what I call the Tracy Morgan Finn. Next up we have Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing pilot costume. This is my first ever 6-inch figure that I got, where actually if you look back, you can see my 6-inch figures in the Quest for the Green Gem, if you look at my TV. Next up we have Rey in her costume, or in her Octu attire, you can say. This is also her outfit at the end of Force Awakens when she was on the Rebel base. Next up we have the original release of Kylo Ren. I do want to point out that this lightsaber does not come with him. It goes to a different Kylo Ren that's on my shelf. No, it came with the previous Kylo Ren that I have displayed with my Snoke. The one with the rubbery plastic tunic, or robe. It just kept popping off his hilt, or his belt, so I gave it to this one. This is the original release because, as you can see, this was when Hasbro thought, oh, maybe like the whole thing connects into one at the bottom. And then it's just like, no, that's not what we saw in the trailer, Hasbro. Holy shit. So I have Han Solo, the original release of Han. This is also, I think, the 40th anniversary version, which is just a repack of this one. So I technically have it. Sad story, I did have the belt, but I lost it at my grandpa's house, but he sold that house, so I don't know where it went, so I can't really go look for it. Plus I lost it outside, so it's somewhere under the old deck. So I'm stuck with that. So if anyone knows where I can just buy the belt, let me know. Otherwise, I might just buy another one for the 40th anniversary packaging, buy another one to unbox, and put this one on the 40th anniversary stand. Okay, this is my favorite incarnation of Luke at the moment, or in figure-wise. This is this version of Luke is my favorite incarnation. This is the deluxe edition of Luke, where he has not only a fabric cape, he had an interchangeable hand, so you could have a fisted hand, and came with the Octu base, but I don't have the Octu base at the moment, but I still have the box. That's worth anything. The next figure I have is Maz Kanata, and she came with her box and also the gun from that she was using, which is a Rebel Blaster, which has that from Last Jedi, but the box is from Force Awakens, so it's kind of a hybrid of the two, in my opinion. I like to point out Maz looked like entirely or the exact same in both films, but this is still technically a hybrid of the two characters. That way, then we don't need two Mazes in our collection. Next up, we have Rey in her Jedi training outfit. This is my favorite outfit of Rey's by far. I think it's because the blues and the browns and the taller boots and stuff. It looks more like a traditional Jedi outfit, like from the prequels, which I thought were amazing as well. So, yeah. Also, for some reason, I wasn't a fan of the ankle boots, but I saw the picture of her with the taller boots, and I went, there it is. That's what I know from Star Wars. Knee-high boots. Yeah, that's not the only thing that I know from Star Wars, obviously. But anyways, it's probably more just like the blues and the cloak and that, instead of just being all tan, which is bland and boring. But they were going for that because she's from a bland and boring planet. That's literally the copy of another planet. They could have just went with that. They could have went with the original planet, but no, they had to redo it. They had to redo everything. This video is making me realize I have more problems with the sequel trilogy than just The Last Jedi. Next up, we have the original release of Jedi Master Luke. This is the one with the rubber tunic, or the plastic tunic. Instead, it didn't come with anything, no interchangeable hand, no base, no anything. It's just... Next up, we have what I call the Tracy Morgan Finn. This is the original release of Finn. It's called Finn Jakku. You can tell because he's got the brown on his boots. I call him Tracy Morgan because I don't know if you can tell in this shot, but he looks like Tracy Morgan. So that's the main reason. Next up, we have R2-D2. Now I'm planning on getting a new one because I'm missing panels, these little panels. I used to play with my figures, I'd like to point out. But he come with these panels, and I'm missing like 2 of them. So yeah, also missing some of the gadgets. So this one might go on the 40th anniversary collection one. I'll get 2 more, or a new one of this one in the 40th anniversary to go with a carded collection. I want to get the carded figures. I like carded figures, okay? Next up, we have the deluxe edition of that Kylo. This time he has a cloth robe. He comes with the lightsaber, which would plug into his belt here, his lit lightsaber, and the helmet that you saw with Snoke, that goes with this one. His head's removable and that. I just don't do that because I like Adam Driver. He's the most... It's his story now. That's how much Last Jedi fucked up. So I care more about what happens to Kylo than Rey. And it was the opposite in Force Awakens. I wanted to know more about Rey than Kylo. I don't care what happens to Rey anymore. So that's kind of sad. Next up, I have Obi-Wan from the Revenge of the Sith. I lost his lightsaber because I used to play with these, and so I gave him Luke's lightsaber because it's similar looking in design to Obi-Wan's, so he's at least holding a lightsaber. But I'm trying to find pieces, or someone who makes like Obi-Wan's lightsaber for the 6-inch figure, so that I can get it. I did find one. I still have to buy it. It's like $10 on eBay. Next up, we have Rey of Jakku, which came with BB-8. BB-8 and then Rey. Rey kind of doesn't look like they really tried on the paint job of her face. So yeah. I'm trying to close the light off so that it doesn't affect the figure. But yeah, like I said, this costume is very bland. I think also another thing that got to me was because she has ankle boots, her legs should have been basically frozen and gotten hypothermia. She should have gotten hypothermia or frostbite on her legs because she was on fucking Starkiller base, which is literally just Hoth with trees. Anyways, also it's just boring and bland, and even though they're going with that, it's still boring and bland. That's why I like the new outfit better, and I hope that's what she wears, because it looked like they went back to this in the new one. God. The final figure, and my most favorite figure that I got ever since I found out they made this figure, I was very disappointed because I stopped collecting around the time that they made this figure, and now that I'm back in collecting, I just picked them up for about $66. I bought this little thing for the price that I bought a mannequin. So if you're wondering what the figure is, it's Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. This is my favorite version of Anakin. God, I really liked this. I really liked Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, even though a lot of people don't like Hayden Christensen. I also didn't really like Hayden Christensen until I read the scripts myself, and my god, Hayden Christensen gets like times 20 Kaioken points. Because have you read the scripts? It's really hard to read. That was the best he could get out of that script. So kudos to you, Hayden Christensen. Just making sure I got all those 6-inch figures, and I think I did. Okay, so I hope my little 6-inch figure update collection, it's kind of different than what I did with the other one because they aren't out on a shelf. They are everywhere. Let me just show you. That's where my main 6-inch figures are. That's where a few of them are. And then this is the shadow box that the rest of them are at. So there's that. But I want to give you an announcement. I gotta wake my computer the fuck up because it decided to shut down. So hang on. Probably gonna have to log in. Yep, fuck you. BAM! I started a podcast. That's the temporary name. I just thought of a new one. It's called the Aces Podcast. It comes out tomorrow, Monday. Almost done editing it. I'm about to hit the hour mark. There's still a half hour after that. So we're about 40 minutes away from it being done and uploaded so that you guys can watch it tomorrow. That's why this video probably came out late. So please, if you want to help support the podcast, just go watch it tomorrow. It's an audio podcast, not video. You don't have to actually watch us talking about it. You can just put it on in the background. It helps a lot. We're talking about stuff for the movie industry, television industry. We dabbled in the TV industry, or the movie or music industry, video game industry, and we talked about the return of QHC and plans for those channels. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Come Time Traveler Day. Links to all my social media are in the description below, as well as a merch store if you want to buy a t-shirt. There's also a link to some headphones if you want to buy some headphones. They're called Psycho Gaming headphones. You can hear like you're actually there. It's like surround sound for your ears. They are pricey. Not going to peer pressure you into buying those or the t-shirt. Just do it on your own cost. If you want a t-shirt, go for it. If you don't, go for it. Go for it to not buy it. And if you want headphones, if you're in the market for headphones, I'd recommend checking it out. Going to the link in the description below. And until next video, I'll see you in the future. Bye guys.